Hello and welcome to the Drivers Room Endurance Championship Season 2 Tier 1 Round 2. We're at Alsace in the Group 2 cars. As we take a look at the standings, Pluxtheduck leads after a last corner victory from CS Smith. Kim, with his second podium in a row, is third, with Cafe Del Mar in his first appearance in Tier 1 taking a strong fourth, with Gadget and Mac in the 5th and 6th positions after tough races last time out. So let's see what happened down on the track. We see the cars gleaming in the sunny Alsace sunshine. Let's see what happened in qualifying with the grid walk. So as we can see here, CS Smith takes his first pole of Season 2 in the 08 Nissan. He'll be starting the race on super soft tyres. Then we have Dawson moving up from Tier 2. He's in second place in the Honda, starting on softs. Plux, reigning season champion, he's starting on the supers in the same car as Dawson. Cafe Del Mar with a very strong 4th position after his 4th last time out. He's starting on the soft tyres. Senna with another excellent qualifying. He always qualifies well in the Lexus on softs. Ricey in the 6th position on softs in the Cat Racing Nissan. Gadget will be disappointed with 7th on the grid in the Lexus Gr2. Gr2 is one of his best categories. He'll be looking to move forward. We have Mac, usually a qualifying master. He's unfortunately down in the 8th position. He will be starting on super soft tyres. Let's see if he can get the Gr2 car up the grid. Muller, he's a little bit further down than he would have wanted to be. Not really gelling with this track, and so far not with the Lexus. Let's see if he can get the OSR racing car up. Kim, after his fantastic 3rd in the Viper, falls back down the grid. He'll see if he can launch himself up the grid a bit, but it'll be difficult from where he is. Daz, with his kind of customary lower midfield position, but he always races better than he qualifies with the new PSD Racing livery. Canny in the Guinness sponsored car, he's starting on the soft tyres. Wilco, again struggling with qualifying against the Tier 1 boys, never quite shows his full potential, but we'll see if he can move forward. And Ben at the back, but he is definitely one who qualifies badly compared to his race pace. So let's see what happens at the start. as we start our hour-long race. So we're on the grid with CS Smith. They get away quite early there, lighting up the rear tyres from Plux. He gets his customary good start in the GR2s, even though he switched from the Lexus to the Honda. Swoops in ahead of Dawson. Dawson taking the safer start. Plux going for the burnout start. It looks like everyone's got through fairly safely. Smith gets a great start in the 08 car. They do start better. Oh, a little bit of contact almost there between the two Honda drivers. They take very different lines through that corner. Dawson takes the more traditional inside line. Plux takes the outside swoop line to try and get better acceleration through the exit of the corner, but it does leave himself very exposed to an inside dive. And that may come back to hurt him later in the race. At the moment they're all fairly line astern. Dawes makes a great start, looks like. I think he was up about 4 positions. Sorry, Ben that was, not Dawes. Ben's up 4 positions, as we see Dawson all over the back of Plux already. Dawson has looked the class of the field so far in practice. As much as his team is called what is practice, his testing pace has looked phenomenal. For him to get past Plux quickly, he hasn't struggled, especially on high fuel in the Honda. A very twitchy car. Once you master it, it is very fast indeed. The biggest surprise so far, I think, probably is Cafe, who in practice didn't look particularly quick, but he banged it into 4th position, and he's staying with these guys. Smithy has already pulled a bit of a lead as we go through the field now. Yes, as I said, Ben up 4 positions from his starting position. I said he'd race better than he qualified. Miller, who's had a shocker of a start. Wilco drops all the way, well, actually only drops 1 position to the back. We go on board with Smithy. Look at the gap he's pulled already. A great first lap by Smithy. No dirty air for him. There's Plux again taking his wider line on the way in. And oh, contact between Dawson and Plux. I said that would leave him exposed. No damage so far for either car, but Cafe now comes through. Cafe's going to have the best momentum out of turn 2. Well, turn 3 really. So they head up towards the difficult turn 5. This corner can catch you out so easily. Cafe has a little look on the inside. That was a bit of a late move. Bit of contact between the 2 cars again. Plux isn't going to be happy. He saw the flash of the rear lights. Dawson swoops around the outside of Cafe as they go down to the really difficult turn 6. There is a kink before this, but really this is turn 6 as we head towards the horseshoe corner. Turn 7. And again, Dawson taking that inside line. Plux cutting down in front of him. Try and get the better exit. Head down towards the hairpin now. Very difficult in these cars. The car becomes very unstable as you flick through the left kink into the hairpin. You can actually spin the car quite easily as we're on board with Mac there. It seems that Gadget's disappeared from the field. What's happened with him? Oh, we see Wilco off there. And Gadget's all the way down to 13th. Let's take a look on board as we start lap 2. With Gadget, he's in the 8th position, he's fallen 1 position down. Oh, a little bit of contact there between him and Senna. Senna's had a shocker of a start as well. I mean, you can see he's lost 2 places already. But he doesn't tend to start particularly well in these GR2 cars. If you think he got pole in the final race of 2019 Season 6 and then fell all the way to the back after spinning out, he got a poor start as we watch Gadget try and go around the outside. He's broken a little bit late, Senna's going to have him on the inside of contact. And Gadget's out on the grass and he spins, loses the back end. It looks like no damage though. But still a lot of positions and now a lot of work for Gadget. And that's 2 races in a row now. As we go back on board with Dawson and Plux. Dawson who's all over the back of the other Honda. It seems Plux hasn't been able to get his rhythm going yet. And that's giving Dawson all the motivation. He's got all the momentum right now. Plux seems to not really settled in. Dawson really shaking up the order here. As again, he looks to the outside now. He's trying to go for the kind of cutback line. Oh, and Cafe catches the back of them, and I think that's damage for both Dawson and for Plux. Cafe's going to have the best car now. It's going to be who can manage their damage best. Rear wing damage is going to make both those Hondas very unstable, but I think Dawson's also got rear suspension damage, so he's going to have to use all of his skill to get past. And now we've got a great battle here between Mac and Ricey. And Mac looks like he got a better exit. He's going to have the inside, but now the outside. Oh, he's already through. Ricey backs out of that. No one wants to go too wide with Going through this corner as we head down towards the horseshoe for the third time. Looks like Dawson has managed to bang it through on the inside with that inside line. Plux gives a little flash of the lights. And you see Cafe now trying to go around the outside. This is no way could that work. Plux runs a little bit deep now. Cafe's going to have the outside line for the uphill off camber left. There's no way he's going to be able to go through there. It's a one-line corner, but can he get a run down towards the final two hairpins? It's quite hard to get the car pulled up in time here if you go for a dive. He'd have to move his brake bias all the way forward probably to get it pulled up, but Plux looks like he's gone a little bit wide. He's suffering with that lack of rear downforce. It's also going to cost him when it comes to straight line speed. We saw that with Gadget last time out in Tokyo, where the rear damage cost him 6 miles an hour on the straight, and he was a sitting duck, especially when you consider he picked the Peugeot for its straight line speed capacity. And there's Daz, he's had a good start. Starting to lead up a position. Wilco's now up a couple because of Gadget's issues. But he's also got past Canny, who looked like he went off a little bit at the hairpin. Here comes Gadget on the fight back now. He's having a look at Canny. Down into the difficult. Every corner on this track seems to be difficult, but maybe turn 1. As we see, Wilco's gone wide after that great start. What a shame. He's not really ever managed to get himself in a rhythm in Tier 1. He always seems to be overdriving the car. I think a few races of good fortune would help Wilco out. He looked good in the M6 Beamer until he made some mistakes in the wet. So we're on board with Smithy, who's currently set the fastest lap of the race. Dawson's got rear damage, slight rear wing and rear right, which is where Canny hit Cafe, as we see Cafe is now through on Plux. He did that, I believe, into turn 6, maybe turn 5, as we see Plux getting freight trained here, as Mac now is through, and that's down 5th position. Oh, you can see the oversteer as the dirty air Plux, coupled with the damaged rear wing, is the Plux is just literally a sitting duck right now. That was a terrible pun, I do apologise. There's Dawson now, still hasn't pitted after that damage. He's down in the 44, so's Cafe. This is not a particularly fast pace so far. We're looking more 41s and 42s. Of course, Dawson has got damage, but Cafe really should be kind of on the back of him now. Unless Cafe's struggling with heavy fuel. As we watch Ben now, Ben's made a great start all the way up to 8th position. Miller's had a shocker. Just cannot seem to move forward despite other cars having problems. Gadget now on the fight back. He's set his personal best lap of the race so far at 43. We are on lap 5 now, and it's been absolutely chaotic so far. So we're on board now with Dawson pitting off at the end of lap 5. He comes in to fix his damage, so does Mac from the what was the 4th position. He's Plux back the position, but he's still got damage. Cafe's up to 2nd. Smithy still hasn't pitted from the lead, but look at the state of those front tyres. This track is an absolute tyre destroyer. The moment they start to go off, it just becomes an exponential problem because you can't get the nose in, so you scrub the tyres more and all these fast long corners. It's just a nightmare. As Dawson is already back out on his super soft tyres. Dawson usually uses soft tyres, but this race he's decided to go with the supers in his second stint. Might be trying to get the extra pace, extra grip, as he now swoops straight past the outside of Kimi through what will probably be turn 6, as he dove up the inside of turn 5. There's Gadget back up to 9th now. Ben, oh, it looks like Ben's made a mistake on the previous lap. That's a shame. He had a great start to this race. And there is Canny and Senna. Wilco, we saw him have problems. It looks like he's had even bigger problems, and he goes off again. And Daz, who had a great start, looks like he's had an absolute shocker, a 2 minutes 25 lap. That is just terrible. Something must have really gone wrong for him. As we're on board with Smithy, he'll probably pit this time, as he knows Dawson's going to have the pace now on those fresh rubber. Those fresh tyres, or fresh rubber. I do apologise, this is some terrible commentating by me. We're on board now with the CS Racing team as we see Cafe, Fidel Cafe Racers coming in as well. Will Plux pit? He will as well. It's going to be all line astern there. Dawson had already made his way through on Plux as well. Plux with a damaged car and older tyres probably allowed him through. No point fighting this time. You see, them all line astern. Plux had to fix the damage. That's cost him about 3.5 seconds. He is approximately 6 seconds, I think, away from Cafe. There's Ben back up to around 7th position. Exactly 7th position. Oh, and an absolute dive there by Kim. He tried to send that up the inside. Quite pull off as the camera goes haywire now. Good run through that corner as we're back on board with Ben. In the 8th position. He's going to have Ricey for company. Ricey pitted. He was up in 6th before he was the car that was directly behind Plux. He's lost a little bit of time in the pit stop phase. On board now with Smithy still in the lead with those fresh tyres, but Dawson's just set a new personal best. Fastest lap of the race of a 41, first guy in the 41s. Cafe staying with him pretty well though. He's using that slip tune to his advantage. See if he can learn anything from Dawson as well. Cafe always is a quick study. Now on board with Muller, who's yet to pit, and he's in the way of Plux. He was on his recovery drive after those early few laps, causing pretty much a nightmare start for the Made for Racing driver. Got off the line well and then just got freight trained. Damage, not the race we usually see out of Plux, at least so far in 2020. And there's Mac. He's had a rough time through the pit stop phase as well. It looks like he's made a mistake, as he was ahead of Plux and actually looked like he was possibly going to challenge Cafe. The front-engined Lexus and Nissan, very similar cars. The Lexus is a little bit more stable, the Nissan a little bit more twitchy, but a little bit better front end. And then the mid-engine Honda it's very twitchy, and the turbo is probably because of that twitchiness in the mid-engine layout, the turbo comes across as the most aggressive of the three cars, of the 16 variants. But actually the turbo is no more vicious than the others, just the mid-engine layout makes it feel more aggressive. I'd actually argue maybe the Nissan's got the most aggressive turbo profile, because that's front engine that can still light up those rears very easily. As Miller now pits, that releases Plux. Miller is out in 9th position. Fresh set of boots. As we watch Mac now on Ben. Just run up the field. So Kim's up in 5th, and there's Plux. He set his personal best of the race, but it's not a particularly good lap. And there's Cafe with his personal best. Either of these guys not quite having the pace of the top two. Dawson, who's just gone even faster again. 41.1. That is incredible pace. So he can't match that. He is in the 41s. He can't match that sort of pace. Smithy in the naturally aspirated 08 Nissan. The best car out the corners because it doesn't have the turbo lag. Same with the starts, that's why the 08 cars are so good off the line. They've still got the good torque, but they don't have the turbo lag. So they just pull really nicely off the start without having to do any very aggressive burnout style starts, which do damage your rear tyres. Kim is having a good race so far, in 5th position. And there's Mac recovering from his mistake earlier in the race. Mac with only 4 winners so far this year in DREC. The 3 being Gadget, Smithy and Plux. And we see another winner today as we're back on board. Let's see how Mac got through on Ricey. Nice run out of the horseshoe. It makes such a big difference, and then you've got to make sure you get it pulled up in time into the hairpin. He lifts off as he goes through the kink, then bangs it down the gears, gets it nicely tucked in. Ricey makes the mistake, he goes out on the marbles. And a good run through the difficult turn 10. That's how he got through. Let's see if he can get his way back through on Ben. Ben, who is off strategy to the others and not really having the same pace, but by keeping his nose clean, he's got himself up a few positions, up to 6th. But he's given up the inside line there. Mac's going to have him there. And Ricey's going to try and use the momentum, but he backs out of that court, out of that. He'll wait for Ben's tyres to come off and get the better of him then. This has been a very impressive drive by Ben so far, up in that 7th position. Remember, he qualified last. I said, he's very fed up. There is Smithy. And again, Dawson. Both these guys half a second off their best lap times. That gap is coming down. Smithy is the time trial man. He's usually the hot lap specialist. Dawson was part of the Vanquish esports team. Both these guys A+ rated in the FIA and daily sport mode rankings as Dawson comes in. As does Smithy. So these two will come back out probably side by side. Let's see if Cafe can emerge in between them, and he does. Can he get on the power well enough to get after Smithy? Smithy has a little twitch now. This is Cafe's best chance. He's going to run up in the slipstream, but the other advantage of the 08 car. Oh, he's pulled out the slipstream too early. The top end of that Nissan is better than the Lexus. He needed to stay in the slipstream longer, build the momentum, and then pop out right at the end of the straight. That was a little bit of inexperience there by the Tail Cafe racer team member, team driver, let's say. Now he's going to have Dawson for company. This is going to help Smithy a bit. Dawson's going to have to find his way through. And there's Flux. And a lonely 4th now. Mac now chasing down Kimmy. And Muller not far behind either. He's moved back up. Gadget on his recovery drive there, as we're on board with Smithy as he heads down through turn 6. In my opinion, probably the hardest corner on this track. The apex is actually so late that the corner doesn't want you to hit that. Oh, and Smithy's gone off into the horseshoe. He's run wide. That's allowed Dawson through. Luckily, Smithy gets no damage from that, but that could have easily been a nightmare scenario. You see, Cafe's now pitted. That's the gap between Cafe and Flux. Cafe's going to have the fresher tyres. Flux. We'll have to see if Flux has managed to get his head straight. Not usually one to come back from behind. Come back, he likes things to go his own way, and sometimes can struggle. And early mistakes hamper him. On board Mac, who has dispatched Kimmy now. Didn't see that on camera, unfortunately. We were too busy watching Smithy miss the entry to the horseshoe. There's Muller. On with Gadget up to 8th now. Down the main straight, on board with Flux just to see how that gap's managing. This is for the final step on the podium. Flux hasn't finished off the podium all year. Cafe was close to a podium last time out. I think if he hadn't ran into the back of Gadget early on, he might have had a chance at it. Kimmy did look very fast in that Viper, but that track was one of those where If you could stay in the slipstream, you had a chance. Smithy now, look at the difference in the pace now. Dawson a lot faster on old tyres, and that's going to stand him in good stead. As Cafes, we watched through that horseshoe, almost 10-mile-an-hour difference between the top 3 in Plux on the older tyres. Same for Mac, his tyres worn out. Miller on the fresh tyres is absolutely flying through the horseshoe, 130 mile an hour on exit, well, on the final apex. That's fantastic speed as we're on board with Gadget, who's picked up more front end damage. Didn't see that on camera. That's going to leave him as a sitting duck for Senna. He's going to have to brake early into the kink. Senna has a little, tries to close up. He's trying to go for the cutback line, but he can't get the nose in because of the dirty air. And he's just going to have to sit behind for another bit of a lap. Gadget's going to be slow through here. That's an aero-dependent corner. All about your front end getting through there. Such a difficult corner. This is a track which really is difficult. A lot of drivers don't like it either way round. I personally find the reverse a little bit easier. It flows better. I think this way round it's more difficult. You've got more downhill apex corners, while on the other way round they're all uphill apexes. You've got gravity on your side and slowing the car down. Lap 14. Pit stop, Max drop back behind Kimi. Let's see if he can get back past. Through the hairpins, and that's the big difference. Look at the difference in the braking distance on old tyres compared to new tyres. And he just swoops down the inside. That wasn't even difficult. Kimi kind of let that one go. I think they know they're not really in the same race here. Kimi's racing Muller. Max racing for probably P5, maybe P4 away from Plux. If you can find the time. Let's cut ahead now. We've got Smithy in the pits. There's Cafe. Boys back out. Let's see if Plux is closed up. Not enough. And I think this is the difficulty, is the tyres wear off so quickly that whoever pits first gets a big advantage, but then over the rest of the stint, they kind of lose that advantage again, because Plux set his fastest lap time in the race so far, and now he's got less good tyres. I think the strategies are going to be so that the gap between Plux and Cafe is going to probably stay very consistent. I think Cafe's probably done enough for now to hold off the charging duck. And Senna has got past Gadget now. Gadget will not let that one off lightly. He's got that damage fixed, I believe. Head down through turn 5. Through the kink at just before 6. Down the downhill apex. Oh, such a difficult corner. You want to get on the power so much earlier than you really can, or as you run off into the grass. So we head back on board with our leader. He's now down into the 118 mile an hour range because his tyres are going off. Yeah, look at the difference in the even Dawson's struggling now on old tyres. Oh, a little snatch there. Yeah, 138 on exit. Plux 129. Just a little bit slower. Didn't quite get the nose in as well. Something a bit off his best though. This is a pretty good lap for Plux on lap 3 or 4 of his tyres. This is the thing with the Honda, when it's gripping, it's very fast, as Dawson's now in the pits. Vanquish squad doing good work. pits, comfortably ahead of Smithy. Cafe's just set his personal best. Wow, Plux, he was only a tenth or so off his best. When we last saw him, is now half a second off his best, so that shows you how much time you lose in that final final sector. So jump forward a couple of laps. Looks like Cafe might be coming in the pits this time. The number 6 car comes into the pits, followed by the number 1. Again, this is going to be, Plux is just going to be 5 or so seconds behind him. Not a lot of difference between these two. Yep, already coming through turn 1. Plux on old tyres now. He's going to lose a lot of time. We'll swap around in the strategy here. Cafe now having the fresher tyres. Sorry, I'm incorrect. Looks like Plux may have pitted last time around. A 2 laps ago, sorry. And now he's actually caught up a bit of time. I misread that. We didn't catch Plux's pit stop as we're on board with Gadget. He's burnt his fuel out, so he's going to have to take some more on board. As we take a look at the standings, 35 minutes into the race, you can see Dawson's got a big lead now over Smithy, who's got a fairly big lead over Cafe, and Plux, who's around 4 seconds behind. And we've got Muller, Mac, Kim, Senna, Gadget, Ricey, Canny, Wilco, Ben and Daz at the back. There's Smithy into the pits now. Cafe goes through this time. See what the gap changes. It's looking like Cafe's still just behind Smithy, maybe a couple of tenths further behind than the last time we saw these guys emerge from the pits. There could also be some difference in the amount of fuel they put in the cars. Smithy did look to have quite a lot of fuel left in that car. 10 litres, it's quite good fuel management. On board with Cafe Domar. Now Cafe Racer driver, moved up from Tier 2 last season as part of the Made for Racing Junior program, the first junior driver to move up. Showing that the program can work. Already he had a 4th place last time out. Could he improve with his first podium? As we're now on board with Plux. Oh, a big wiggle out the final corner as he comes into the pit lane now. Only 4 litres left of those super soft to come off. What's he coming for? Some fuel. How much fuel is he taking on board? 28 litres he's going to come out with. He's got fresh tyres. There's the gap to Cafe. As we see the gap to Mac as well. Mac has been pumping in the good lap times on those tyres. So he's going to have to start looking behind him a bit. Of course, he has just pitted. Due in sometime soon. It's taking a slightly more traditional line now through that corner, taking a slightly less wider view. They've adapted that slightly, watching Dawson pull away from him. Dawson is absolutely flying out there. A little bit wide through there on the marbles a bit actually, that wasn't quite the perfect line. But to be fair, he's got a 15-second almost advantage over Smithy now. Smithy made a mistake. It was actually a technical issue which caused that error. But either way, Dawson's in control of this race now. He won all of his starts in Tier 2. He actually only finished 5th in the championship, but was moved up due to the slightly convoluted nature of the promotion relegation system last time out. Some drivers wanting to move down, and some drivers not moving up, despite having earned promotion. Watch Cafe now in the pits. He goes in for a long stop here. I'm guessing what he's thinking is he's got the gap to Plux, he can take all his fuel now, and then the next stop he won't need to pit for as long. Smart strategic call there by Cafe. We saw him do this at the Nürburgring, which gave him his win at at the Nürburgring. Between that and Fabro making a mistake as he dives down the inside of Ben. A slightly late send, but he got there. Flux. He's been flying for the last lap or so on those tyres. He really knows this is hammer time. If he's going to have a chance of beating him, he's going to have to do it now. This is pit stop now. Just taking what he needs fuel-wise. Cafe with a so more fuel left in. And Smithy actually has really put some good laps on that stint. Pulled away from Cafe. The gap between Cafe and Flux now. That's second and a bit actually. Flux is trying to push as hard as he can. He's set fairly good lap times. We'll see if he can pull anything more out of the hat. We saw that last time from Flux. He managed to square down the gap between him and Smithy in the rain. Going forward with Muller and Mack. So it's the battle for 5th position. I believe Muller's on older tyres. Mack's just pitted. Oh, and he sends it all the way around the outside. Beautiful move there. Lovely run around the outside on the fresh tyres. Beautiful work by Mack there. Big Gadget coming out the pits for his what looks like final pit stop. Miller comes in as well for his final lap. Final pit stop. He's in for his final stop. Senna goes through. There's Gadget. So Kim only needs about 20 odd litres. 25. What's he come out with? That looks like a long stop. He's come out with 42 litres. 6, 7 laps. I think he's blown his chance for a 6th or 7th lap. So we're back and forth with Cafe and Flux. Cafe now starting. You see, here it is. The tyres have now switched. Cafe's got fresher rubber, and he won't need to fuel. Flux has lost his chance, I think, because Flux will need to fuel at the next stop, unless Cafe makes a mistake, as Dawson's in for his final time. He's got enough fuel to make it to the end, so no fueling required for him. A fast stop. There's Cafe, he will pit probably next time by. Have the fresher tyres to the end. All he has to do, I think, now is keep it on the road. Have his first podium. Flux does dive into the pits. Last time for the Infrared crew, unless something bad happens. Mack seems to be, I think, a little bit too far away now to make a strike on Flux's hold on 4th position. Kick of oversteer out the pits as well from Flux. That's probably a bit of venting the frustration. He hasn't been particularly quick all race. Got flustered early. Got harried and freight trained by by Dawson and Cafe. And I think he's never really recovered his consistency. A bit all over the place at points. As we're on board with Gadget. Got that early spin where he ran wide and got forced off the road onto the grass. He on board with Cafe. Won't need to take much fuel at all. It takes 5 litres. He's judged that pretty perfectly. Flux will be right behind him. Well, right behind him is the wrong way, about 4 seconds behind. And that gap has stayed pretty consistent. Flux didn't even seem to have a particularly good outlap there, so it seems maybe the frustration's getting to him. With Senna now on lap 33, he's done a great job, but he's very low on fuel. He might have to pit. Oh, he's gone wide, he's not got down to first gear. Oh, crushing damage there. That's all front aero, engine damage. That's going to cost Senna at least 8th position as well. And Kim and Gadget have just absolutely lucked into that. What a terrible finish for Senna. He had a great run going. And that's going to cost him a lot of time. He did look like he was low on fuel. He might have had to stop for a splash. As we take a look at the cars nearer the back, we've got Canny and Ben Ricey seems to have parked it, and Daz is running around at the back. So here we are, final lap. That man has been unbeatable all day. Phenomenal drive. He kind of showed up and showed his class. Fastest car, got pipped for pole. Pole's only 2 points. And he's going to get a nice 52 points out of this with fastest lap as well. Dawson wins his first Tier 1 race here at Alsace. Smithy looked fast, took pole, and battling for fastest lap. Couldn't hold the tyres as well as Dawson. After that small error, never really looked like he had had a chance for a fight back, but a fantastic result. Another second position that gives him, probably gives him the lead in the championship actually. So a great drive by Smithy. Smithy comes in second for CS Racing. And not far behind is Cafe, who's done an absolutely fantastic job. He gets his first podium in his second race in Tier 1. Pluxtheduck, there's a man who's probably really kicking himself. Allowed other drivers to mess with his head. Didn't have a great drive. Mac, fantastic drive when you consider he started quite far down the grid in 8th. He's pulled it up to 5th position with a mistake. He could have possibly had 4th without that mistake. Muller, not of his best drives ever in terms of finishing position, but a great drive when you consider where he started. Kept his nose clean, good strategy, the usual things we expect from Muller. Gadget, 7th is where he started, and when you consider that spin that dropped him to last, that was pretty good. We've got Kim rounding out the finishers in 8th. Kind of a pretty nothing drive for him after the podiums last time out, but still got it home in 8th, good points and a nice slide. So here's our podium. We had Dawson first, Smithy in second, and Cafe in third. Fastest lap went to Dawson, and pole went to Smithy. That will be a new track record for both of those, as we haven't run anything but the Group 4s around this track, this layout. Big congratulations to Dawson on his first win in Tier 1 in his first race, and a great congratulations to Cafe for his first podium. So we tickle at the standings after that. Smithy does indeed take over the lead in the championship through his consistency. Plux drops to second after a pitiful race. Cafe is up to third in the championship after his consistency. Dawson leaps straight up to fourth. Kimmy in fifth. Mac in sixth. Gadget drops a couple of positions down to seventh. Muller in eighth. Better result for him. Ayrton in ninth. Daz in 10th. Ricey in joint 10th as well. Ben in 12th with Canny, and Wilco at the bottom of the pack. Fabro yet to race. Let's see what happens next time out at Saint Croix C2 in the Group 1 cars. Thank you very much for watching, and catch you another time.